Okay, the other day I'm online scrolling and I see a post from Rob O'Neill, book signing, whatever. And then I see something familiar. Scarsdale. Scarsdale is a village a few miles north of where I am. Now keep in mind, no one outside of the Northeast has ever heard of Scarsdale, and no one outside of the Northeast even knows what my fucking county is. 99.99999% of the shit that happens here happens in New York City. And every once in a while, Long Island. Yes. So I said, I'm gonna go. And then I asked if he would do a second book for my cousin-in-law. Yes. Shut up. Here's the thing. My maternal grandfather died in '69 in a car accident. He was a sailor in Korea. Now, my mother's 15. Her cousin is 14 going on 15. Her cousin's husband is in Vietnam. Obviously, she's still a child and he has not met her and come into the family as of yet. So he never knew his uncle by marriage. Now, my mother's grandfather, my mother's father, had died a couple years earlier. He was in a grave. It was decided that my grandfather, his son-in-law, would be interred with him. And when their wives, mother and daughter, died too, they would be interred together. Now, my cousin's mother, my grandmother and my great aunt, my cousin's mother, they both predeceased my great grandmother. So the order was my great grandfather in '64, his son-in-law, my grandfather in '69, my grandmother in '89, my great aunt in '98, and my great grandmother in 2000. In '98, my great aunt, my cousin's mother, my cousin-in-law's mother-in-law, she's cremated. And in 2000, we put her ashes in the coffin of my great-grandmother. So this grave has my grandparents, my great-grandparents' bodies, and my great-aunt's ashes in my great-grandmother's casket. Yeah. Now, my cousin and her husband, they come down for the cemeteries a couple of times a year, blah, 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 blah. And I normally don't go to the cemetery unless I have to bury somebody. Hold on a minute. And my uncle, my mother's little brother, had died. We interred his ashes at the cemetery last week. And I went on to see the grave while I was there. My cousin and her husband come down. And even though my cousin-in-law never met his uncle-in-law, my grandfather, he always puts a flag on the main headstone. And there's a stone set into the ground for my grandfather, specifically from the VFW. He polishes it every year. He's 72. And he still comes down and polishes everything. And so I asked Rob to do a book for him, which he did. So I go there, and the guy recognized me. Hey, I know you. I knew you, weren't you? What the fuck? I don't have any followers. You're all Swan. Oh yeah, that's me. He's a retired cop. I'm gonna say that he's getting a book for a cop that was shot in the line of duty this past Wednesday. Not going any further than that. So bullshitting, blah, 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 blah. Rob comes around. He goes in. It's a gym. But it's small village, residential block, all apartment complexes. And the gym is in the ground floor of an apartment complex. I would have never found it in a million years. I didn't even know it existed. But Rob comes in. He goes in. They let us and we go around. Not even 10 minutes. The retired cop tells Rob, I wanted a book for my friend who was shot. I'm like, oh yeah, I heard about that. And then I went and I told Rob what I could tell him. I was blocked when it happened. Okay, so Rob gave my book for my cousin, book for me. I gave him one of my PVC patches. We took a few pictures, and here we go. He sent my cousin-in-law's book in red pen and says, never quit. He sends my book in blue pen. My favorite color is blue. And he also signs mine. Forgotten Country, Geronimo. That's what he said on the radio after he killed bin Laden. So I got the better quote. Well, I paid for it, so what the fuck expect, you know? Also, well, I had to work overnight and had to delay my sleep for that. I usually work overnight, come home and sleep. I had to work overnight, come home, go back out to the event, then come home and sleep. While I'm asleep, I get a gift in the mail. I ordered this for my birthday, but he was in Poland. I had to wait a month and change. And he forgot to sign my name, but he wrote, keep owning it. Now, my man's section and my woman's section now has 6 books each. Of those 6 books, the women's section, all are signed except one. Of the 6 books in the men's section, all are signed except one. Women's section, I've met none of them in person. Men's section, I've met 3 of them in person. Go figure. Okay, thank you.